Is a creator economy recession improbable or inevitable? In this video, we're going to be looking at a new article from Business Insider that reveals 40 influencer marketing insiders describing how the economic downturn has already hit their industry. We're also going to be looking at a survey from the Think Media community about, is your CPM or your RPM going up or down? In fact, let me know in the comments, have you noticed any increases or decreases in your ad revenue? And then we're also going to be talking about 4 practical actions you can take right now to recession proof your income and thrive over the coming months. All of that and more is coming up today on the Coffee with Cannell show. Welcome back to Coffee with Cannell. My name is Sean Cannell, and I'm super fired up to dive into this content today. There's a lot of course, drama kind of happening in the news cycle, and there's a lot of talk of recession. So we're going to look at real data, and you can make your own decisions. Remember, here at Think Media and the Think Media podcast, we're on a mission to help you win. So we just want to give you the data, but we're coming from an optimistic perspective. You know, I don't believe that God has given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind to make wise and strategic decisions over the coming months. And the fact is, recession is not inevitable. And we're actually going to be looking at people a lot smarter than me. However, there is a lot of drama out there. And here's one of the articles that's super interesting. So Business Insider talked to 40 influencer marketing insiders to see how this was everything that's going on is affecting their industries. And here's kind of the headlines. Brands are canceling campaigns and delaying payments to creators as they brace for downturns. You know, Google just announced that they are slowing hiring. So a lot of tech companies, a lot of brands that sponsor creators are either canceling campaigns or they're delaying payments to creators. And some creators were saying they have struggled to land new deals and that affiliate commissions are down. And then Business Insider spoke to dozens of creators about how they're adjusting to the economy. And the big idea here, and we're going to be talking about this towards the end of this video, so definitely stick around, is you got to prepare and position yourself now, right? It's just wise to be wise, isn't it? It's smart to be smart. We don't want to stick our head in the sand. We don't want to be overly paranoid or worried. We just want to be action takers that prepare for the potentially shaking economy. But here's the article I really want to talk about. And Business Insider was talking about, is a recession improbable or inevitable? JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and 10 other top investing firms revealed their predictions for the economy for the rest of 2022. And what's shocking here is that there is dramatically different opinions. So you've got experts saying things like a recession is highly unlikely. Unemployment is historically low. Consumers are continuing to spend and go on vacations. And inflation isn't actually going to be as sticky as many people think it's going to believe. So some of the top experts are like, it's actually pretty unlikely. The flip side, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon says it's possible, but it's doubtful. And so again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not deeply intertwined into the markets. These are people that are a lot smarter than me. And JP Morgan Chase is saying, yeah, maybe, but maybe not. And I think that's good news, because you might ask, Sean, well, how should that affect my behavior? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? I feel like you're not giving me a solid answer. Here's what we can do. We're going to be talking about 4 things you can do regardless of circumstances around you, because you can't control circumstances around you, but you can control your own thoughts, your own actions, your own attitude. And as I go on in this article, another expert said it's about a coin flip. Given the economic environment is highly uncertain, several firms are saying it's about 50% chance. Oh, it's 50%. I need solid information. Look, one thing I've learned in today's 2022 world, that certainty is something that is not available to anybody. Like certainty is not something that any of us ultimately have. But what we can be certain, right, is about our own emotional health, mental toughness. And there are some actions that we can take because other experts, Barclays Private Bank, is saying a recession is more likely than not. We recently had Patrick Bet David speak at our conference, Grow with Video Live, and he's looking at all the numbers and he thinks it's highly likely. Bank of America says count on it, and you look at different numbers, how much money has been printed. So what does that mean for us? Well, in just a second, I want to talk about the action items we can get into. But I also did a survey, and this isn't like an official survey, but I went on Twitter and I asked, is your CPM up or down right now compared to last year for those following me on Twitter? And if you ever want to connect on social media, in the corner of this video, at Sean Cannell, Rhymes with YouTube channel is where I'm at on Instagram and Twitter. But I threw out this question and I was curious, compared to this time last year, because the way you earn money specifically through YouTube and getting views on your videos is through ad revenue. And the way YouTube pays you is that brands are willing to pay them money that YouTube splits. And it's roughly a 55-45 split. It seems to vary depending on the creator, but let's just pretend it's 50-50. That means that an advertiser, let's say it's Purple Mattresses, is like, I want to start running ads on creators' videos. Great. So they pay YouTube and then YouTube starts to place the ads. They keep some of the money and they give you some of the money. Then the question is, if less advertisers are buying ad revenue, if they're not willing to pay as much, if they're not bidding up how much they pay to run those ad spots, then you could see a decline potentially in your RPM or your CPM. I think the other thing to consider here is this is not very scientific data because your ad revenue might be down because you stopped posting videos. Your ad revenue might be down because the quality of your videos is down. You might need a fresh wind of creativity or a fresh wind of just uploading and hustle. So there's a lot of variables, but I think that this is interesting in and of itself is Rebel Dawn said it's up. Devin said it's a big up. Like these are two that are saying since last year, our revenue is up. At Think Media, we are up, if only slightly, since last year. We have not seen a downturn in our CPM or our RPM yet. However, it depends, I think, on your niche. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you experienced it going down? Havoc says down, sadly. Some just got partnered, so they have nothing to measure it against. Martin's saying it's down. Jen's saying it's up, way up. Some are saying it has improved to a night and day difference, Anthony is saying. And I think Roberto Blake, our friend Roberto, right, who's helping creators create awesome, it's about the same at $32. So we're seeing that fluctuating. And I think a lot of people in our community too, if they compare to last year, all I'm actually asking you to do, and here's how you do it, you actually go into your YouTube studio, because sure, there's the views side of things, but what you actually want to be checking is you go to your analytics, you go to your revenue, and you're going to see two numbers. You're going to see your CPM and your RPM. Now here on our Think Media podcast channel, these are pretty high numbers. Our CPM is $40.24. Our RPM 1728, and it's always fluctuating, right? And so then you could look at different date ranges. And so let's see, in the last 365, it's kind of stayed pretty steady right around 40. But again, it's going to depend. And here on Think Media Podcast, it's a very much creator-minded, business-minded, entrepreneur-minded, build your creator business, learn how to use YouTube to grow your revenue, to generate more leads and sales, or to build a creator business, all that kind of thing. So we've seen that our RPM on this channel is even higher than our other channel, Think Media. But let me know if you feel like your income has gone up or down. So what's the point here? I think the point is to say that I would really agree with this Business Insider article that it's kind of 50-50. Experts are saying it's kind of a coin toss of whether or not we are absolutely going into an economic downturn or a recession. The other thing is that sometimes people have it's kind of scary. It's kind of a clickbait thing, but it also, a recession might be mild. It just might mean that the GDP, that's how we measure it here in the US, just did not go up for 2 consecutive quarters. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to affect your pocketbook, your personal life, your personal creator business, your personal niche. On the flip side, it will affect certain industries. Certain creator economy businesses are laying people off. Jelly Smack downsized their staff by 8%. That's a creator economy business. So it's going to depend. So what do we do about it? Like, what is our actions that we need to take? Well, I want to always keep this practical and not give false hope and not just give out platitudes of positivity. But I think there's something really powerful about having an optimistic outlook and having real strategies. And I want to give you 4 of them, but I have a couple quotes that I think frame what we're doing here at Think Media. One is from Proverbs 22:3. It says, "A prudent person with insight foresees danger coming and prepares himself for it." So a prudent person that has insight, and that's what we're after here. In fact, if you're not subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe. We want to give you insights, data, strategy. Why? Because you can see danger coming. Well, what if danger doesn't come? Well, thank God we're prepared. But if danger does come, we're preparing ourselves now. Pablo Picasso said it like this: action is the foundational key for all success. What does that mean? It means that right now is not a time to freeze. This is not a time to only focus on defense. This actually is a time to take action, because the best way to respond is to take action. I actually love this quote from Barack Obama that says the best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. What do I do in response to this information? Get up and do something. He says this: don't wait for good things to happen to you. If you go out and make some good things happen, you will fill the world with hope and you will fill yourself with hope. Man, I love that, because there's something about right now, as there are uncertain times and even fearful times, man, it's time to get up and do something and fill yourself with hope and fill the world with hope. That's why I love YouTube. We have a chance to create content, make videos, share goodness in the world, answer questions, entertain people, and create meaningful content that can fill the world with hope. What also happens? You punch despair and depression in the face when you're productive. When you actually punch fear in the face and press record and make something, you build up your own confidence, and you actually are injecting confidence and hope into others, bringing solutions, not just fixating on problems, but looking at the possibilities. So that's kind of our stance. That's our lean at Think Media right now. We're leaning into hope. We're leaning into optimism, and we're leaning in to faith for this coming season. But here are 4 things that I would say we're doing. And if you're getting value, hit the like button on this video on the Coffee with Cannell show today. And I have 4 things that we should all do. Like, this is the thing to do now. And this is super important because, again, I want you to win. I want you to be smart. And so here's number 1: cut unnecessary spending. Cut unnecessary spending. I really think that, especially if it's a coin toss right now that we're going into recession and that it could really affect your pocketbook, it would not be the time to just, again, assume that it's just going to be up and up and up and up as it's been in the past. Cut unnecessary spending. It's a good time to be a little bit more conservative and stack cash. And I'm just sharing what we're doing. So we're looking over our credit card statements. Sonia, my wife, runs our books personally, and she's our CFO for our company, Think Media. So I'm like looking, what is unnecessary that is on our credit card every month? What can we cut? I'm asking, do we really need that right now? I'm asking, is that really an asset or a liability right now? And I'm also asking because one of the things we need to realize is that actually hidden in every obstacle and challenge is a seed of equal or greater opportunity. So one of the powerful reasons to cut spending is to have cash, not just to ride out the storm, but to actually take action on potentially distressed assets, or to actually lean in to growth. But it's hard to grow, or it's hard to focus on building your side hustle or a creator economy business if you don't have any cash. So number 1, cut unnecessary spending. Number 2 is learn valuable skills. I think the greatest response in times of uncertainty is kind of like Barack Obama said, the best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. And I would say one of the best ways to start building your hope is to get up and learn something. What new skills are you working on right now? What are you learning right now? What's in your PDP? Sean, what's a PDP? Well, I'm glad you asked. You don't have a PDP? That's your personal development plan. How could you intentionally be at a further place than you are today if you don't have an intentional plan to get there. That's why you have a PDP. It's a personal development plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Well, Sean, I feel like I haven't grown in the last couple of years. Well, you probably didn't plan your growth. What is your PDP? What is your personal development plan? You want to learn valuable skills. Why? Because if there's an economic downturn, listen, when companies do layoffs, they never lay everybody off unless they go bankrupt. Who are they going to lay off? The least valuable team members. It's just true. Who are they going to keep? Those that are continuing to grow and add to their skills, or those who stopped growing and are in the same place that they were 3, 4, 5 years ago? Invest in valuable skills. So one of the best ways to recession-proof your income is to invest in valuable skills. I like to think about this also as assets versus liabilities. I read a book in 2008 or 2007. It changed my life. You may have heard of the book. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Have you read that? Any kind of books and resources, I'll make sure to link up in the description. But one of the reasons this book changed my life is because it said that the rich and the wealthy, they invest in assets and the poor invest in liabilities. And you could say, oh, that sounds like judgmental, entitled language. No, hang on. Don't cancel me. Robert said it, cancel Robert Kiyosaki. Like, if you just go buy another pair of shoes, unless you're flipping shoes, that's a liability. You lost money. Those will get dirty. They'll wear out. They're not going to even be on trend in 6 months to a year. Whereas if you invest in skills, you're more valuable a year later. So liabilities are things that just waste your money. You have nothing to show for it tomorrow. You just have more clutter in your storage unit. You just have a bunch of stuff that really doesn't matter. You're just buying stuff to impress people that you don't even like, and with things you don't even need. Whereas on the flip side, if you're investing in assets, what's an asset? Well, of course, assets could be things like businesses or real estate, but your greatest asset is you. So one of the best ways you could get prepared to be ready to pivot during economic downtimes, to be ready to maximize and grow, is to keep learning, keep growing, so you can see what's happening. You have strategic insights, is to keep learning and keep growing new skills. In the creator economy world, you think about all the skills you need to learn. How do I edit video? That's a valuable skill. How do I storytell? Valuable skill. How do I create thumbnails? That's a valuable skill. How do I write powerful titles that get people to click? That's a powerful skill. How do I communicate better and communicate persuasively? Powerful skill. So investing in skill. What are you doing to invest in your skills? And here's what's interesting. Like, this isn't just my opinion. Maybe you've heard of Warren Buffett before. Warren Buffett is the founder of Berkshire Hathaway, one of the most wealthy investors in the world, and billionaire, right? And what's interesting is he actually shared at their recent Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting on how to inflation-proof your earnings. How do you inflation-proof your earnings? Okay, so like, what's he going to say? What does Warren have to say? And listen to this. According to Buffett, the best thing you can do is to be exceptionally good at something. The best investment by far is anything that develops yourself. Wow. So inflation's going up, recession's going crazy. Who knows what's going to happen? Invest in yourself. The best thing, and I quote Warren Buffett, that you can do is to also get exceptionally good at something. See, I live in a tension, especially because, my background, I was a pastor for years, and I was a pastor in Irvine, California for a while, did weddings, did funerals. I've been through a lot of ups and downs with people. And so there's part of me that, of course, has empathy for everybody, that thinks about the circumstances you go through, the hardships, the things you've had to carry, and knows that you need encouragement, you need empathy. Like, we never know what other people have been through. We never want to be judgmental of other people until you've walked a mile in someone's shoes. Don't really give your opinion. So I carry that intention, but here's what I also carry that intention with. When recession starts to come and some people get crushed, I got to ask myself deep down, I say, okay, what were they doing in the good times? Were they really, though, preparing for famine? or were they just blowing all their money? Were you just playing video games, or were you leveling up your skills? Were you just drinking beer or reading books? And so if trouble comes and a tsunami takes you out, could there have been something you did over the previous years when trouble wasn't here to be preparing for the storm? I mean, that's biblical, right? That's Joseph having prophetic insight to see that there's going to be 7 years of famine, so he's storing up grain. What would have happened if there wasn't famine? He would have had extra grain. And so there's just something about, if you're not taking it upon yourself to get exceptionally good at something, people will always be employed during down times. YouTube channels will always be growing if others are struggling. But my challenge to you today is, what are you working on becoming exceptionally good at? Have you settled in your learning and your development, or are you continuing to invest in your skills? You know, Abraham Lincoln said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. Last year, our theme at Think Media was sharpen the axe. We gave our whole team axes. It's kind of weird. It's kind of sketchy. And it's actually Ecclesiastes verse that says, you know, sharpen the axe. Using a dull blade will wear you out. That's why you sharpen the axe. That's the value of wisdom. It helps you succeed. What does that mean? It means there's something about investing in learning new skills. If you want insurance against inflation, if you want to recession proof your income, your job, Sean, are you saying that you could guarantee I'm not going to be laid off? No, there's no way I could guarantee anything like that. But I could guarantee you get another job if you are investing in new and current and relevant skills. I can guarantee that you will always be in demand and have demand for your talents and your abilities and your content if you have relevant skills. So what is your PDP and what skills are you working on building right now? Let me know in the comments, maybe one skill you want to learn over the next few months. Number 3, hit like if you're getting value. Start a side hustle. Start a side hustle. So this is interesting. Business Insider said when a recession hits, it's more likely you'll start your own business, even if you didn't plan to. Right now, 17 million Americans are self-employed, the highest share of the workforce since 2008. And self-employment is counter-cyclical, says Keith, meaning that many people turn to it during recessions. If another recession is on the horizon, it could push even more Americans to self-employment. And this is kind of interesting because this has actually been my story of, we started our business in a recession. In 2009, Uber, Airbnb, you know, these different companies actually started, which was a recession here in America. And so did Clear Vision Media. My wife and I started our parent company, which that sounds like real fancy. Yo, we're small town kids, college dropouts. You know what I mean? Like, we started our company. We started an LLC, and I started, you know, making websites and doing wedding videos and doing stuff out of my bedroom. But look at where look at what it turned into. We uploaded our first video back in 2010 on my personal channel and on Think Media. And it's been a crazy journey. And so I want to encourage you. There's something about really getting focused on starting a side hustle, even while you might have your main hustle. So let me know, are you in a side hustle season right now where you have like your YouTube channel, but you also got your main job? Are you in, like, are you a solopreneur? Maybe you're all in already as like a in the creator economy full time, or you're a business owner using YouTube, or maybe you're in the scale season where you're hiring a team and you're working on, you know, things like that. This is a great time to start a side hustle. Anytime is a great time, but this is a great time, especially because you want to start preparing now, right, for what's coming. And I want to show you practically, because you might ask, okay, how could I start, you know, a side hustle? And actually, there's a lot of things you could do, right? You could start actually freelancing on the side. You could start Uber or Lyft driving. You could start something. Sean, how do I get extra money? Get another job. Like, that's how you do it. It's a lot of people do that. Well, Sean, I my money's capped. I'm working 32 hours a week and like my money's capped. Why don't you go pick up another 10 or 20 hours of work? Yeah, but I don't know your circumstances, but I'm just saying, like, you can start a side hustle. You could start selling stuff on Etsy. You could start doing e-commerce. You could do drop shipping. In my opinion, starting a YouTube channel is one of the best side hustles you could start. And here's my story, because if you look, here's a video I did 11 years ago. So this is our house, which at the time, this house was under short sale because the housing bubble burst. It was a $360,000 house, which is crazy because it's like double that today. Had we been able to hang on to it, but we couldn't because it was underwater. It cut like in half. It was literally almost a 50% drop. But I'm in the bedroom before we moved to Las Vegas from this situation. And I started, remember I started a business, video production. I'm doing wedding videos. So I started to talk about what I knew, which for me was video. And what I did was I started to review some of the gear that I invested in for my business. And I started to do affiliate marketing. And so this was 11 years ago, right? This was in 2011 now, I guess. Is that 10 years ago or something? And then I would talk about like this Optica X Grip versus a Camcaddy Scorpion or whatever. I did this one about how, because I was balling on a budget. So I had a Canon 7D DSLR, but I bought used Nikkor lenses for my DSLR. So I could use these manual lenses from eBay that were like $50 and adapt them onto my camera. But what the cool thing was again, so I was solving problems. And I'm helping other people also who maybe want to save money on lenses, because if you look at the title of this video, cheapest and best lenses for DSLR, talk about cheapest. Like, you want to know what's cheaper than an $800 lens for your DSLR, your mirrorless camera? An old school manual lens for $42 on eBay with a little adapter. So that's a pretty hypey title. It's very true. And it was adapting Nikon lenses to Canon cameras with what was called a photodiox converter. And here's an example of that, $44 converter. So here's the strategy. I'm adding valuable content. I'm answering specific questions. I'm reviewing specific products. I'm serving a particular group of people. It's also a recession. People's, money is tight, but people still got to market. People still are getting married. People still want to do stuff. People are still wedding videographers. So I'm putting content out there, right? And I just punch fear in the face and I start making these videos. You can see, again, this is just a bedroom. This was in Seattle. And we moved to Vegas in 2011 because, by the way, I didn't go full time at this point. I eventually accepted a church, a role at a church in Las Vegas to be their communications pastor because my wife was sick. She almost died in 2009 and she was dealing with some health issues. We had all these medical bills piling up. And so sometimes men ask me this question too. They're like, I got to go all in right now on YouTube. And I'm like, maybe not actually. You might want to go where you can get health insurance first because your family needs to come first. You can also hustle, bro. And if I get to speak to you, if you're like the main breadwinner for your family, first thing is you cannot take on too much risk. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this YouTube thing, but I need something solid. And thank God a door opened up that I was able to go get a salary, $40,000 or something like that with healthcare. And then, now I got a full-time job. I can't chase my dreams. Are you kidding me? I've been chasing my dreams since I made this video. Like, I was full-time and faithful at my job, working and being more valuable than my $40,000 a year salary, and doing as much as I could to make videos, build up side income, invest in my skills, learn everything that I could. So I just want to encourage you, like, you can do this, but start a side hustle. So this was the side hustle I started. And to recap the model for you, again, number one, I started making YouTube videos. Number two, I focus on a particular kind of videos, answer specific questions, and review specific products. Number three, I started doing affiliate marketing. I got a little bit of ad revenue, but I started to get people clicking on affiliate links and I started earning extra money. Now, this does not only work in tech or cameras or lenses, although that is a great niche for it. But that's what I started. And the history is online too. The history is not a mystery. Like, you can go look at the history of Think Media. The journey's been crazy. I mean, today we got Heather and Omar and Nolan, but you could go back, you could see me hustling. I'm talking how to record Skype interviews. Back when there was no StreamYard. I sound like just like the grumpy old 38-year-old Sean Cannell with another boy on the way and a 2-year-old. There was no StreamYard. All there was Skype and the sketchiest like VOD recorders. But I mean, we were trying to, what is this situation here? You know, I'm out there. Once again, the white sheet is not behind me. And I'm explaining how to record, you know, how to do your shot composition, but to use this thing called VOD Burner. Is VOD Burner still out there? Yo, we still got an affiliate link for Capture Skype, crystal clear. Man, I need to go see. Maybe they owe me money. So I'm talking about, you know, how to record Skype interviews. I'm making videos. I'm doing interviews. I'm hustling this entire time. And so for the next 5 years, by the way, I got my main hustle, my main calling, and my main purpose, and my main providing for my family of working at a church. And the whole time I'm grinding on my side hustle. What's the point? Number 3, this is the time to start a side hustle. And this is, I know I'm coming with some intention, energy, but this is why when some people complain like, oh my gosh, this came out of nowhere, and now all of a sudden our finances are disrupted. What were you doing in peacetime? The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. You got to be hustling when things maybe aren't bad. And then when things get bad, you're like, it looks like we built our house on the rock and not the sand, and we can actually weather this storm. So I'm hustling. So I'm doing a side hustle. What's your side hustle? Are you working on a side hustle? Have you started a side hustle? Here's the journey. And by the way, I didn't know what I know now. I was doing my best, reading every book I could, buying every course I could, you know, learning on the side, going to events when I could, studying what I could. And there wasn't things like the Think Media podcast. There was no YouTube books out. Like, this was like the Wild West days. Like, things were just getting started in this era, right? And so ultimately, start a side hustle is the takeaway. And I got another tip for you, and I want to answer some of your questions. I got actually some more on this side hustle thing and why it's such a big idea. But today's Coffee with Cannell show is brought to you by thinkmasterclass.com, by the way. And if you want to specifically learn my methodology in depth, step by step, I just recorded a live web class this week. We have the replay up. This is it's not for everybody, but it'd only be for you if you specifically were curious. Okay, what are the mechanics? What are the steps of actually building a profitable YouTube channel, starting or growing one? We have it's a 67-minute web class with all those tactics and whatnot. I highly recommend checking that out. In fact, here's a quick video with details.
Are you ready to start or grow your YouTube channel? Do you feel stuck and need help connecting the dots? Join this free web class where you'll learn the step-by-step playbook for YouTube success. We've helped thousands of purpose-driven entrepreneurs just like you grow their influence with video. Register today for this exclusive training at thinkmasterclass.com.
So check it out, thinkmasterclass.com, limited replay, link in the description down below. Thanks for being here at Coffee with Cannell. We're talking all about the creator economy and an urgent warning for all content creators. This is not just fear hype. This is preparedness, planning, and forecasting of what's coming ahead, and then positive actions that we can take, like number 1, cutting unnecessary spending. Number 2, investing in learning valuable skills. Number 3, starting a side hustle. And I want to just speak to something else on this before we hit number 4, and it's this: taxes. Wow, we just lost everybody there. That killed the average view duration at that moment right now. But listen, here's one of the reasons why you also need to start a side hustle: tax advantages. And I mentioned the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. This shifted my thinking back in 2008, and it was why literally everyone should start a business. Why? For tax advantages. Now, here was data from 2008. The most recent IRS data revealed that Americans who filed taxable returns paid an average income tax of $15,322. Now, I want you to hear that. $15,322 was paid to the IRS by the average American household in 2018. One of the most underestimated bills on your checking and balance every month for your personal income is taxes. And unfortunately, because of a lack of financial income, a lack of financial education, a lot of creators, many in the creator economy, many that are doing incredibly well, are undereducated about taxes. But it doesn't even matter if you're not doing well. Even if you're just working a W-2 job or whatever your job is, what could you do with $15,322 not paid to the IRS? Now, I'm not suggesting you don't pay taxes. I'm down to pay my fair share. We pay taxes, by the way. You can check. You want to see our tax returns? You know, some people don't let you see ours. And so I'm not suggesting, but what's interesting is the tax code, here's the unlock, is written giving advantages to business owners. Why? Because business owners create value in the economy. Eventually they employ people, because business owners buy real estate, lease office space, they stimulate the economy. So as taught in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad and many other places, one of the reasons why you want to start a business is for taxes. Let's go deeper. Even if you start according, and I'm not a CPA, check out my friend Matt Bontrager. We'll have him on the Think Media podcast soon. But one of the reasons why you want to start a business on the side, even if, watch, you don't make money in year 1 or year 2, is because you can start taking legitimate write-offs of your income. And you can actually lose money the first couple of years. Look this up. I'm not a CPA. This is not financial advice, but you can look this up. Eventually, the IRS will classify your business as a hobby. But they understand that when you're starting up a new business, start a side hustle, that it takes time to get that thing going. And that even if you earn $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, that most likely you're going to reinvest those dollars into your business. That's why they give you the write-offs, because it takes money to keep making more money and to grow your business. So they're giving you the chance. Why should you? They want you to have more money in your hands to grow your business faster. So what does this look like practically? It means that when you start a business and you switch your mindset, which this is the mindset that we got to switch in response. This is why this is an urgent message for creators. You got to switch your mindset. You don't want to just be going into this thing like this is just a hobby. I'm just dabbling. You want to go into this thing like a business owner, realizing you're the CEO of your business, even if it's just you, and approaching it not with a dabbling mindset, but with a dominating mindset. Specifically, when you start a creator economy business, you could start taking legitimate write-offs like computer monitors, computers, cameras, boom arms. Like education, you can write off the books you buy on Amazon. You can write off the journal you buy and the pens you buy and the Wi-Fi router and all of these tools, because these are all my business tools. These are all the things that are for my business. Now watch, a lot of people, they game, they do they buy a gaming PC, but if they're not streaming, then they have to buy that with after tax dollars. They pay the IRS $15,000, and then whatever money's left over, they spend on their hobbies. Here's an idea. What if you turned your hobby into a real business? See, my hobby, as you could see in the past, was photography, cameras, gear, all that kind of stuff. But then I realized, man, if I start a business, I'm reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay, if I start a business, this camera is actually a tax deduction. Now, of course, check with your CPA, and you got to use it for business purposes. And sometimes there's percentages, and that's, you know, there's nothing more than I prize than being ethical and having integrity. So you want to learn about and do your due diligence on this. And I don't want to go too deep, but let me know if this is valuable. Here's the big idea. Start a side hustle, and more practically, start a business. Even if, and watch, we started our business, Clear Vision Media, parent company, are over everything right now. It's Clear Vision Media. We started that in 2009. Sonia and I did. And we also started it literally in the hardest season of our life. And now fast forward, I look back, and I hope this is valuable to you. Man, in a recession, we started a business, and we started getting educated, and we started investing in our skills, and we started hustling, and we started putting out content, and we started making videos. And little by little, we climbed out of debt. Little by little, we were able to pay off medical bills. Little by little, we lost houses back in the last recession. We had a rental property in the house we were living in. We lost them all, and our credit was destroyed. Fast forward to today, we have multiple houses, you know, Airbnb property and all this stuff. This isn't like hype overnight success stuff. This takes a decade of hard work, labor, intentionality, and strategy stuff. But this is why you want to start a side hustle, because what can happen now is instead of earning $20,000 in your side business 25,000 or whatever it is eventually, and then having to pay 24% of that or 30% of that or 10% of that to the IRS, you can actually start paying no taxes on that business income because you keep reinvesting in your business, and you're going to probably do that anyways. I get on planes, I fly to conferences, that's a write-off. I'm going to be going to Vid Summit, right, in LA, plane, write-off, hotel, write-off. Just going is not a write-off. Just going as a hobby to an event, it's not a write-off. Going out to dinner, having a business conversation with partners, people you're going to potentially collaborate with, 50% of that meal you can write off. During the pandemic and lockdown, they changed it to 100% to stimulate the economy. Is this valuable? So listen, start a side hustle, okay? Because this is the time to do it. This is the time to learn it. This is the time to go all in. And I got one more tip for you, it's this. Number 4, stay on offense. Stay on offense. This is what's known as the strategic offensive principle of war. You ready? The best defense is a good offense. Okay? The idea is that a strong offensive action, instead of a passive attitude, will preoccupy the opposition and ultimately hinder its ability to mount an opposing counterattack, leading, watch, to an strategic advantage. See, here's what's going to happen potentially over the next coming months. Some people are going to retreat. Some people are going to freeze. But some people are going to take massive strategic action and are going to benefit. Why? Because fortune favors the bold. You got to stay on offense. Now, this isn't about being careless. Listen, build up your emergency fund. If anyone follows Dave Ramsey or just anybody that's wise with finances, you should have good defense. Sure. But you can't win without actually being on defense. We can't just hunker down and hope that everything is going to work itself out. You got to rise up and find that fight inside of you to say, okay, even though, and I think back to when we were starting all this kind of stuff, when I uploaded this video right here, the reason I was shooting this video in front of this bookshelf, this is in the corner of a mother-in-law of a house that we were house hacking. Upstairs is Matt and Amanda and their daughter in the master bedroom. Next to them is Kimberly or Matt, not at the same time, but 2 different other roommates. And then downstairs in the mother-in-law, in the corner of the mother-in-law, the pile of all my crap and computer and like business was me shooting this first video on Think Media. And I started creating and I started making videos. And look at this. This is August 23rd, 2010. This is the base, the most dismal. 2008 and 9 had gotten the housing price. This is about the base of the housing price. The lowest parts of the economy here in the US. And again, this is telling you my real story. In this moment, my wife had almost died and was in the hospital for 6 days. Our church that I was part-time staff on in Marysville, Washington, was falling apart. It had 1,600 people there on Easter. Some senior leaders stole some money. They took some scriptures out of context. Leadership got toxic, and the whole thing imploded. I'm there shell-shocked. And then again, on top of that, this house, we're trying to short sell it, and eventually we have to leave this house. Our credit is destroyed. And here's my point. I'm not trying to lack empathy saying you might not be going through it now or you're not going to go through it in the future. I was going freaking through it. But I didn't shrink back into a cocoon and just go defensive mode. And listen, sometimes you got to rest. You got to manage your own mental health. And there might be some seasons to take a nap, take a break, back off. I'm not telling anyone to push into burnout, but here's what I am telling you. There's something about staying on offense. It's that quote that we started out with, that quote that said, the best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. So I had a choice. I could have just said, woe is me. And I would have a lot of reasons. I had a lot of reasons. I could have said, can't believe these leaders around me. Can't believe I trusted these people. How could they be double-minded? How could they be so hypocritical? Man, God, why is my wife sick? Why is she going through this? And I was asking those questions, and I was wrestling with those questions in prayer. But for in the mystery and the tensions that we experience this side of eternity, I could have gotten stuck in despair. I could have been like, why did, by the way, we had bad advice. People told us like, this is a good time to buy a house. This is a good time to invest. Our real estate agent pushed us into this other house, and the inspector overlooked a bunch of stuff. It was like his friend that helped him close the deal. We got screwed. There's black mold in the house. The roof was collapsing. This is a true story. The drain seal field failed. That's a $7,000 fix. You want to talk about excuses? You want to talk about getting punched in the gut? You want to talk about being out of breath, wanting to give up and give in? I could have done that. But I hope that if this helps just one person, I refused to only play defense. You have to play offense. And my friend, one of the best ways to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. All right, let's start. Honey, let's sit down. Let's look over our expenses. Let's look at our savings. What can we sell? Why things are still good? Let's start flipping some stuff on eBay. This is some Facebook marketplace time. Let's see if we could do some couch flipping. Let's get this thing going. Maybe we can downsize our house right now. Shoot, let's sell our house right now at the top of the market. Let's rent something smaller. Let's gather our cash. Can we invest in our skills? What kind of side hustle could we start right now? I know things are discouraging. I know things are hard, but let's start a side hustle. How can we adapt and pivot in this time? How can we position ourselves to thrive in the future? Listen, you need a good defense, but you're never going to win the game if you don't play offense. Don't freeze. It's time to take action. Hey, are you getting value today? Hit the mic button. You got to just press record. Hit the like button. My name is Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel. And let me know if you have any questions related to this. Today's episode of Coffee with Cannell is brought to you by thinkmasterclass.com. If specifically, I'm not saying YouTube's the only side hustle. There's a lot of them. But if specifically you want to learn about YouTube and you're interested in our methodology, our methodology is not the only one. But if you are interested in over the last few years, how I built a six-figure income, making YouTube videos, the specific strategies I did then, and some of the best strategies for growing, 3 strategies guaranteed to get views. That's a big guarantee, but I actually guarantee that if you follow what I teach in the class, you will get views on YouTube. So thinkmasterclass.com, that's out there. If you got a question, I'll start to answer 1 or 2 questions. Coffee with Cannell is the show today. I'm coming at you from the Pacific Northwest. I'm sipping on some delightful Colombia single origin coffee that I just AeroPressed up. Let me know what you're drinking. 4 question marks before and after your question. I'll be right back with you in just 1 second.
Are you ready to start or grow your YouTube channel? Do you feel stuck and need help connecting the dots? Join this free web class where you'll learn the step-by-step playbook for YouTube success. We've helped thousands of purpose-driven entrepreneurs just like you grow their influence with video. Register today for this exclusive training at thinkmasterclass.com.
Yes. Check it out, thinkmasterclass.com. Link in the description. JT, I appreciate you. Thanks for the super chat. Grateful for you. Side chat. Just about to hit 1,000 subs and about to be monetized. Do you have a video you recommend on your channel step-by-step to insert ads? I do actually. If you want to learn all about monetization, now you might not be interested in all of this information, but this would be the one. It's Monetization Explained, how to monetize your videos step-by-step. And so I'm logged into the wrong account here without my YouTube premium on our Think Media account. So I am bothered by these ads, but here we go. So this video, YouTube Monetize Explained 5 ways to earn money and how YouTube pays you. This is a step-by-step for qualifying for monetization, everything you need to know. And so if you want to learn more about monetization, steps to getting paid, how to verify your identity. So that might be interesting to you or others that are here. Let me just give you a crash course on ads in the actual YouTube studio. Once you're monetized, here's what we like to do on any individual video. What we do is we go in here to monetization. We do overlay ads, skippable ads, non-skippable ads. We do not do sponsored cards just because we figure, I mean, some of these other things would take people off the platform, but that's just a choice we've made. I've interviewed a lot of creators and they don't either. And so you could try them, but we just leave that one unchecked. And then as far as where the ads are, we do before the video, during the video, and after. We just check all the boxes. And here's kind of why too. YouTube then places the ads. So it doesn't mean an ad will play just because you check the box. And so we just check all the boxes. Now, what you can do is you can go into manage pre-rolls. If the video is over 8 minutes and you could add multiple ad spots, this one only has one at the end, and these are placed automatically. So I haven't even looked at this. I don't think anyone on the team has. We just changed pick it, and then YouTube makes it up. So let's look at something like, this is a 27-minute video. Okay. And this video, let's see where the mid rolls are. So there's one at like, this is random. Like YouTube auto generates this based on, I don't know what. The final thing, what you could do is add manual ad breaks. And on some videos, we do that if the video is kind of like structured. For example, if there's like a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3, you could almost treat those ad breaks as like a commercial break. In some cases, you could overly add ad breaks and it could increase your revenue, but it might frustrate the viewers. Some viewers won't even see it if they have YouTube Premium. And just because you put 5 ad breaks in a video doesn't mean all 5 will play. So what is there's no black and white answer to what's right or wrong. I mean, let me know if you're watching this. Do you ever get frustrated because of too many ads? Has it ever made you want to unsubscribe to somebody? Or if you really wanted the content, did you just endure for it? Are you a YouTube Premium user? Tell me here in our community your experience with ads, because I know it's a debated thing. Ultimately, I know this. Here's my summary. I think we pay for Hulu Premium, like whatever the highest level is. And I don't know why there's still ads. And what I know is that if the show is an hour long, Hulu makes me watch like 6 ads. I know I'm not happy about it, but I know I want to watch Snowpiercer till the end. So I watch what am I going to do? And I don't complain. Like I'm like, all right. I mean, this is life. And so creators got to make money. YouTube's got to make money. You choose your own amount of ad spots you want to add. And I hope that quick tutorial was helpful. NewFi, appreciate you. Hit like if you're getting value. Is there a way to get affiliate marketing to work for entertainment type channels where I don't sell products and services? So it's good you bring this up, because the goal is to pick the right business model for your type of content. Typically, if it's an entertainment channel, your best business model is to do like an integration with a brand that actually is woven into the content. So it's usually ad revenue, brand deals, maybe something like Patreon or crowdfunding. So sometimes you don't want to try to force a strategy that doesn't really work well. But now consider this. You potentially could still integrate, let's say, Audible. And Audible is an audiobook app, right? And I think about Sean Chandler, who's one of our Video Ranking Academy students. And so what he did was he does literally entertainment content. He like reviews, or rather talks about, ranks the 3 It movies, Stephen King's It, the original one and the 2 new ones. And what he did as he was like ranking those and reviewing those was he was like, hey, by the way, did you know you can like listen to Stephen King's It on audiobook for free, actually, if you don't have an Audible account? And I'll put a link in the description. So he gives like a call to action to it. It's not like a product. It's like a related, here, watch, he's integrating Audible, but it wasn't a brand deal. And then here's the numbers. What ends up happening is anyone who clicks his link and signs up to download Stephen King's It for free, if it's a new Audible account, he gets $5 to $10 just for them signing up. So did you see, like, you can kind of do a brand deal without even doing a brand deal. You could do an integration, say, click the link in the bio and the link in the description, and the link could be an affiliate link. So that would be my advice, is you got to be more, think about integrating in a non-forceful, relevant, value-adding way, products, services, things that are relevant. And the last thing I would say, NewFi, is you got to ask, what is the intent of the viewer? This is why I highly recommend, if you're watching this, one of the video types that you make should be what we call RSP, review specific products. Why? Because when someone goes to YouTube looking for a product review, let's look at one of our students. Here's Jennifer from the Sewing Report. Okay. So now maybe this is a little more obvious, but this is, think about it. So this is a sewing channel, DIY crafts. Okay. Now there's also videos that are not product related. Watch this before starting an Etsy shop. Here's how to do a particular tutorial. But a lot of what she does is also related, like reviewing these brother sewing machines. So now this video has 455,000 views. And in the description, she has an affiliate link to Amazon for the product, of course. And so this is Jen from the Sewing Report. Okay. And so if we look in the description, you could see that if we go down here and click a link on this sewing machine, she's going to get like 4% of this probably. And so now, of course, she's making money, and she was able to quit her job. Her family's able to buy a house. It's pretty crazy, their story. But ultimately, here's the point. You don't have to be a product review channel to do product reviews. Make sense? So this is why we spend so much time at Think Media, not just trying to help you figure out your niche, but trying to help you figure out your business plan, your positioning, your business model, because those decisions are like the beginning decisions that are the lead domino that affect everything else that's down the line. And if you're positioned right and you're making not only product reviews, but then watch, imagine if she talks about these, right? And then she also does like baby gifts. If someone subscribes because they find her and they like her product review video, only if she did it like once a month or once a quarter, it also brings in the right audience if you're talking about the right things, because other people that are into crafts, sewing, they connect with you. So it's not this idea, like people always make the mistake, I don't want to just do like a product review channel, it's the only way to make money with affiliate marketing. No, I mean, it's just a piece of the overall strategy. But when you make videos that are RSP, review specific products, you can make money. The easiest way to start making money, you don't even have to be monetized to start doing affiliate marketing. 2, they bring in the right subscribers if you do it right. 3, you don't even have to keep doing it, but it's a good way to get going, and cash flow solves your problems early on. So you could go full-time faster, go part-time at your job. So anyways, I got a super chat here to talk about. If you want more on that, that is what I just talked about at the masterclass, thinkmasterclass.com. One of the strategies on there is RSP, review specific products. I have other case studies too. You'd be surprised by how many different niches this works in. And so definitely check all of that out. Let me see if I can find this super chat. Hit like if you're getting value today. What are you doing this weekend? Let me know. And I want to honor this super chat. Thank you so much. Architectural sheet metal for $10 Canadian. Niche qualified. I want to put all my efforts into it because I see a lot of potential and I'm a pioneer in my industry. But would you recommend I go full-time as soon as possible? Well, I mean, yeah, why not go full-time as soon as possible? But here's the big question. Should you go full-time? Here's what I'd like to measure. 1, do you need money? Legitimate question. A friend of mine, Nikki Philippi, when she first started her YouTube career, she got a vision for it. She's one of the first interviews on Video Influencers, and her husband was working full-time. So they sat down and they talked and they made a plan. That's a tip. Make a plan with your family. If you have a family or dependents or a partner. And she said, I really think I want to go all in on this. He goes, cool. You can, no kids. So season of life. Second tip, season of life. What season are you in? So he's like, okay, you go all in. I'm going to keep working. So she starts to go to coffee shops where she would shoot at like home. She liked to edit at coffee shops. She started to work 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-hour days. grinding, about 6 months, full-time on YouTube. Now, some of us don't have that luxury. You might say, man, that sounds awesome. I got a day job. Well, that's your circumstances. You can't wish, you were in the situation that somebody else has. The grass really isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. You got to work your land. Proverbs says, work your land. He who works his land will have abundance of food. But those who chase his fantasies is going to suffer lack. You got to work your land. You got to work your circumstance. You got to work your situation. Work your land. Like, what's your circumstance? So can you go full-time? Do you have reserves? But I want to give you the final metric for should you go full-time. Bring it in. Bring it in for this one. Can we get a little more light? All right. So this is what's called the 20% rule. And if you're trying to determine, should I go all in as a creator in my online business, in my side hustle? Maybe YouTube is just a vehicle of something else you're doing. You're a course creator, you're an artist. This is the 25% rule. The 25% rule is this. You start doing your side hustle and you start generating some income on the side. 2, you sit down and you really figure out how much you need to live on a month. And I don't mean how much you need to live on a month freaking door dashing every night. You need to knock that off. Get back to the grocery store and start cooking some food and start saving hundreds of dollars a month. Uber Eats is not your friend. It's your credit card's enemy. Okay? You do whatever you want, but you get the energy. Sit down and look at your monthly expenses and figure out a solid number. Honey, what do we need to live on a month? $5,000. Cool. 3,500. Great. Get clear on that number. Step 3. You've been working your side hustle. A little bit of money's coming in. $2.12 in affiliate marketing. Wow. But that's pretty cool. Then AdSense, you finally get approved. Then you start a merch self. Made an online course, like whatever. Got $100, $200 coming in. And you're hustling on your side hustle. When you are earning roughly 25% of your needed monthly income. So let's say it's $4,000 a month is what you need. And you figured that out because you just sat down and did some simple math and looked at your budget, rent, food, nails, eyelashes, whatever are the essentials for that month and for your life. You get to $1,000 in your side hustle. That's probably the time to jump. That's probably the time to go all in. Now, mind you, you're still $3,000 short of how much you need to pay your bills every month. And so it's still scary. But here's what the 25% rule does for you. It's proof of concept, and it's proof that while you had your full-time main job or whatever, you were able to build up your income on the side so that when you put your 2 weeks notice in and you go all in, you'll be able to scale the 25% of your monthly income that you need up really quickly. Is it a guarantee? Nothing's a guarantee. You might get hit by a meteorite 5 minutes from now. Like, nothing's guaranteed. But ultimately, I really like the 25% rule because it's a good methodology. I mentioned I was working at a church. I'm making YouTube videos. I'm talking about tech. I'm doing affiliate marketing. And I grew my income up to about $300 to $500 a month in Amazon affiliate revenue and about $100 in AdSense. It's only $600. And we needed about $4,000 a month for our family to live. And when I lost all my freelance clients, which was in 2015 in October, I already had proof of concept. I wasn't starting from zero and being like, now I'm going full time. So I'm a big advocate that you, unless you have some money, you have some startup capital. I mean, you really got to evaluate your circumstances. I'm a big advocate for go wait tables, like go do something. And then even if it's part-time, and then build this thing up so that you do it at the right time when there's proof of concept, when you've hit that 25% number. And from there, you can scale it up. I hope that's helpful. All right, my friends. I agree, Luke. A meteorite is a horrible way to go. It might not be that bad of a way to go, though, because, I mean, you think about it, like, you wouldn't really know probably. Like all of a sudden it'd just be over. So, I mean, that might be better. Okay, hit like if you're getting value. And I want to thank you for being a part of Coffee with Cannell today. Nona, how do you make merch to sell without influence? I don't think you should. I think you should build influence first. In our Video Influencers Day, we used to say helping you build your influence, your income, and your impact. That wasn't just a catchy tagline. That was an actual framework. You got to build your influence first because influence leads to income. You're not going to make income if no one's watching your videos, and you're not going to ultimately make an impact if no one's watching your videos and you can't make a difference. Live today like no one else, so that's eventually you can live and give like no one else. That's a Dave Ramsey quote. I believe that business, like for example, I think media, we're deeply passionate, not just about serving the creator economy and taking care of our team, but like we partner with Compassion International, for example. We sponsor 101 kids every month to get food, to get education, to get discipled, to be planted in a local church in really hard situations. Relief from different disasters, all kinds of different things. You can check out compassion.org is the website. So listen, that's a lot. That's a lot of kids. I mean, when we want to do more, like how many do you want to do, Sean? All of them. Like we want to keep growing. We keep adding to them every year. What's the point? I think that heart and that desire to make a difference, you can't give much when you can't even pay your own bills. Build your influence first, get your income going, and then you can make a greater impact. And we want to keep multiplying our impact, but we got to keep building our influence so we can generate more income, so we can reinvest those dollars, so we can build our business more, and out of abundance or overflow, ultimately give. So I don't think you make a merch shelf before you have influence. I think you focus solely on building influence first. My friends, hit the like button. Thank you for being here today. If you want to go check out my class, thickbastardclass.com, we have a limited replay up for a couple days there. And there's like a special offer we're doing on Video Ranking Academy, which is our online course, full transparency. Whether that's right for you or not, no worries. Check out the class regardless. 67 minutes of valuable tactical information that I think you're going to love. Hit the like button if you got value today. And I want you to click or tap the screen if you actually need more time in a week to get all your content done. Heather did a 2-part series all about how to be more productive, 15 productivity tips. So you actually can get your videos done, even if this is a side hustle for you. I appreciate you. My name is Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel, and I will see you on the next episode of Coffee with Cannell.